Hello, this is Lucas Palmeira from Imagine, and I'm here to give another tutorial on the RC. Today we have one of your viewers' requests. It was actually many people asked for this, and the song is MGMT Little Dark Age. We've got some synthesizers to do, so let's get right into it. And the first patch that we're doing is this bass, which is actually done by two DRCs, and it sounds like this. Okay. And first thing I'm going to do is just use one. And as you can see, it's hearth pan to the left. So right now I'm going to just put it on center. Okay. And it sounds like this. I'm going to bring back the default patch. Here we only have a high pass filter at 90 Hertz. So we're now back to the default patch, and first thing we're going to do is change our performance mode from a poly to unison, like this. And let's go to our amplifier, raise pregain to 900, and raise the sub oscillator to maximum, and raise 1 octave. Okay, now we go to the filter, to the envelope generator 2 amount. This is the amount of the cutoff filter that will be modulated by this envelope generator 2. And we want it at 629 while cutoff at 0. Now raise the resonance to 334. Okay. And now we go to the modulation page of the cutoff, and we're going to raise the keyboard to 673. This means the higher the note, the higher the cutoff. Now for the first envelope generator, the one that modulates the amplitude, we've got zero decay, zero attack, a decay of 608, sustain of 712, and a release of 300. Now for the second envelope generator, the one that's modulating the cutoff, we've got 0 attack, 4, 5, 6 on the decay. Sustain at 261. 3, 6, 5 on the release. And we have our bass. And one of the really cool things about the RC is that since this is a virtual analog synthesizer, and we actually went to lengths to give it character of a true analog synthesizer, there are little differences between each note that make it so that when you play a note consecutively, it won't play exactly the same. So what happens when you have two patches exactly the same, because these two patches are exactly the same DRC, and you hearth pan them and you play them at the same time, you get this really cool effect of stereo. Oh, I see I forgot just one thing here on our patch, on our first patch, on our bass, which is different from the second one, is that we have to go to performance mode and turn legato on. Okay? Now they're the same. I could actually go here to this bass, so so you know that I'm doing. So they're exactly the same. I'm going to delete this DRC, paste it, and sorry, minus 12. Okay, so now let's go to the second bass. Okay. So this is a nice arpeggiator. And first thing we're going to do is bring back Here we only have an equalizer. Okay, I'm gonna bring back the default patch. And first thing we're going to do is go to the master section and pregain at 833, oscillator 1 at 864, oscillator 2 and sub-oscillator at maximum. Now we go to the second oscillator and drop 2 octaves, detune it to 168, and raise 1 octave on the sub-oscillator. Now we go to the filter and we change the filter from a low-pass 4-pole to a low-pass 2-pole. Envelope generator to amount to maximum, cutoff filter to maximum, and let's raise the resonance to 160. Okay. Now we go to the modulation and we also raise keyboard to maximum. This means the higher the note, the higher the cutoff. And now for the first envelope generator that modulates the amplitude, we drop sustain to 0, decay to 340, release at 267. Okay. Envelope generator 2, the one that modulates the cutoff, sustain at 0, decay at 176, release at 115. Okay. Performance mode from poly to mono. And now finally we go to the chorus, turn chorus on, drop the rate to 127. And depth to 517. Okay. Finally, we go to the arpeggiator, raise the rate to 1/16 and turn it on. Okay. And we got our bass. Now let's go to these weird ARP keys. So you can hear they're really weird. They have a phaser, delay modulator, glue compressor isn't doing much, a K7D, and 2 equalizers, this one and this one. As you can see, they're changing quite a lot of the sound. And this is just a sidechain compressor. So let's bring back the default patch. Okay. And first thing I'm going to do is go to the first oscillator and change it to a square. Drop the pulse width to 0.27. And now for the LFO1, we want it at 350 rate, so it's there. Let's just turn the modulation on LFO2 here and raise it to 296. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is go to the master section and drop the pregain to 785. It's almost there. And now let's go to the filter and change the low pass 4-pole to a low pass 2-pole. Raise the envelope generator to amount to 568. Drop the cutoff to 208. Okay. And resonance to 286. Okay. Now we go to the modulation page and raise the velocity and put the 222. And now we go to the VCA that controls the amplitude of the sound and raise the keyboard to maximum. Now for the first envelope generator, we got a tech at 0.24, 407 on the decay, a sustain of 0 and a release of 170. Okay? Now for the envelope generator 2, we got 0, 407, sustain at 0, 456 on the release. And we got the second sound done. But now what we're going to do is turn on the phaser with 6 poles, dry weight of 82, an amount of LFO of 74.6 and a rate of 0.13. Our nice delay modulator now with a time of 303, feedback of 450, a depth of 457, a rate of 111 and full wet. Now the K70 is really soft as well. We have a dry weight of 160 and a sync of 1/16 with a little bit of ping pong and stereo width and full wow. Now for the equalizers. Okay. This second arpeggiator keys is exactly the same patch as the first one. But the only difference, as you can see, is that I have a reverb that I'm going to put here as well. Which is 261. Decay of 584. Damping of 218, yeah. And a modulation of 279. Okay? So there's the same patch here. And now let's go to the fourth one, which is this gated pad. I call it gated pad because of the way it's played, but I'm going to turn off the phaser for now. And this utility is only controlling a little bit of the stereo and the equalizer. And the compressor for now. I'm going to give it on. So we have a little bit lower volume. Bring back the default patch. Okay. And now for first oscillator, let's drop 1 octave. And raise second oscillator. Drop 1 octave. And detune it to 0.64. And now raise the pregain to 833. Now for the filter, we've got, I think, everything right. We have to go to the envelope generator 1. And we got 0.97 on the attack. Decay at maximum, sustain at maximum. Release at 0.84. Now for the second envelope generator, we got 249 on the attack. And decay sustain at 0. Release as well. Finally, we go to the reverb and raise the amount to 225. Decay of 535. Damping of 500. And now we can turn the phaser on, which is an 8-pole phaser with full wet, an LFO amount of 79.4 with a rate of 0.29. Okay? And now we turn the equalizer on. As you can see, it's a high pass with a little bit of filtering on the top. Okay? And finally, let's go to the brass sound. Okay? And so this is the original. Let's bring back default patch. Okay. The first thing we're going to do, put it here, is go to the second oscillator. No, first let's go here to the master section and master at 689. 681. Pre-gain at 669. Oscillator 1 and oscillator 2 at maximum, and sub-oscillator at 882. Okay, now let's go to sub-oscillator and raise 1 octave, like this. And now, for the filter, we've got envelope generator 2 amount at maximum, cutoff at 0, and resonance at 188. Now for the first envelope generator, we got 0 attack, decay at maximum, sustain at 523, sorry. Release at 407. Envelope generator 2, 115 on the attack. Decay at maximum. 383 on the sustain. And release of 371. Finally, we go to the reverb. And we have 365 on the amount, a decay of 699, damping of 500, and a modulation of 100. Okay. So I think we get everything ready. So bear with me just a little while I get this ready for us to listen to. Should be a second. So, okay. Let's now listen. And this was it, guys. I really hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. If you like our channel and our content, please give us a like. That would mean a lot to us. For my part, I would say goodbye, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.